This is your 2021 Volvo S90 flagship sedan. It's part of their new Recharge branding, and it's their plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So Quirks, Perks, and Irks up front. No Irks here, no Quirks, just a beautiful front end. Thor's Hammer day runners, which are on the passenger side, at least for this video. And I have the turn signal on like I always do, just to show you what it looks like. And basically the whole thing goes from white to amber. Nice chrome grille. I'll show you the side, it's concave like that. Front facing camera with the optional 360 cam package, and that's right there. And just a nice clean looking vehicle overall. If you are in Canada, you do get green plates because it does qualify for it. A nice little chrome trim along the bottom. I usually don't like a lot of chrome up front on vehicles, but I think this is very tastefully done and it matches the grille. So 20-inch, beautiful, beautiful, classic clean rims, part of an upgraded package as well. Here is your charging port. You just push that in once and it goes nice and simple. That little warning sign there, and you close it up, and well, it doesn't get much easier than that. Turn signals integrated into the side mirrors, as you can see. As we back up, give you a nice side profile. It's Volvo's. I hope I don't stumble on that word too many times in this video. It's their flagship vehicle, and it is just absolutely sleek and gorgeous and elegant, and it's a very modern looking vehicle. Not a big fan of the chrome trim along the bottom. A little quirk here, it does say Recharge right at the bottom. I don't think anyone's really gonna see it unless they're changing a tire, because it's right at the bottom, but nonetheless still looks good. Keyless entry, just push that little pad there to unlock and lock your doors. Chrome trim along the windows, and not too bad. I'd rather have it there, which is where it is, as opposed to there and there. Rear quarter looks really sharp. Again, nice, clean, modern, simple look here from Volvo. And to me, that's what luxury cars should be. Put your finger under the L, quick touch. 500 liters of cargo space, not too bad. Volvo Canada has left me with the plug-in charger as well as the summer mats. So you can still fit a decent amount of stuff. It's a sedan. You're not gonna have cavernous space like you do in an SUV. Big perk here is you can actually lock all the doors by pushing that if you're just walking away, or you can just close up the trunk like that. Taking a look inside, starting with the rear seats. So this is part of the upgraded lounge package. This massive armrest, which pretty much separates your two outside passengers. If you want to have it put up, it turns into a fifth seat. I'll show you that in a sec. Here are your cup holders. Here's some storage, and down it goes. And basically you're just gonna pull it up, and now you can fit 3 across the rear. Cool thing, I'm gonna switch over to the door. I don't think it's an ashtray, but maybe showing my age, this is where ashtrays used to be in cars when I was growing up. You do have the electronic sunshade, so basically you're just gonna push that down, and that goes down. If you push it down again, the windows go down. So I'll show you a bit of that. There you go. So I'll put it up, and then we'll touch that button again. Can we get both in the frame? I guess so. Anyways, there it is. So cool move here as far as space, definite perk. Looks like an ashtray again, but it is your 12 volt and USB, so that's a really smart move there. Heated and cooled seats. Cooled seats are a paid upgrade in the S90 Recharge. Look at all the space. As a reference point, here's my foot. So it's all the way back. So there's one, I guess like a 1.5 of Jay's feet for legroom, but lots of space, lots of comfort back here in the S90 Recharge. All right, let's go up front. So first up, all 4 doors get the, can we get that in focus? Yeah, the Recharge skid plate. Perk and Irk. Perk, it looks really cool. Irk, only the exterior lights up at night. You can kind of see just exactly where that darker part is. So not all of it lights up. Volvo seats are, they're pretty much the best of the industry, hands down. So I know it doesn't look like much for the thigh bolster, but it's really comfortable. Thigh extender and the side bolsters. Just the entire seat is absolutely gorgeous. And more importantly, it is so comfortable. Just absolutely wonderful. There's your inside of the door panel. Swedish driftwood up top. I don't really care for wood in cars at all, but this does have the upgraded Bowers & Wilkins audio system. One of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite in the entire industry. What else can we say? Oh, quick other perk here. To get your rear sunshades up, you do that as well. So the driver has control as well as the passengers in the rear seats. Let's quickly jump in. Not a lot as far as newness goes here. Digital dash, you can change it. This is a classic look. You can go rings, sport, and just kind of dress it up. I think there's 4 different options. Standard Volvo steering wheel, no words as far as what goes here. The only word is Volvo, and I love that minimalistic approach there. Heated wheel, the whole thing is heated, so thank you, Volvo, for that, as opposed to some other manufacturers where it's just the outsides of it. More driftwood, standard stuff here. There's your trunk, there's your gas tank release. Let's get that in focus. And your dimmers for the dashboard. Heads-up display is there. We'll give you a quick look at it. Zooming in, part of a paid upgrade as well. I believe that comes with the 360 pack. Small irk here. Heated steering wheel is not included out of the box. You got to pay extra for that. Part of a package. Just not. I don't know. I think that for a flagship luxury vehicle, you should really have that in there. Anyways, moving on. Let's take a look at the screen. So all of your safety on this specific model. This is the top trim inscription. This is the only way you can get the S90 Recharge. So you have your cross traffic alert, your blind spot monitoring, your park in, your park out, active venting lights, lane keep aid. Anyway, you can see all the things there, and we'll talk about that a little more in the driving portion. Rear sun curtain. I'm going to put my camera up to the mirror. There it is. So it goes up, and now it goes down. Collision avoidance systems as well. A couple of cool things here. So if you press hold, the battery level is sustained for later use. So basically you don't have to use it all the time in real time. I'm gonna go back to do that. And as far as charge goes, you either activate it or you don't. And basically that means the engine charges the battery as you drive. I always keep it on. Like, why wouldn't I want to get, not free charging, but I don't want to have to stop plugging the vehicle for the 34 kilometers of range and then go and kind of pause my day. So I really like that as far as convenience and innovation goes. And standard stuff, you've seen this, I think, since 2017. Good system, innovative, very responsive, but everything's touch, and I need more tactile buttons. Like, I don't want to fast forward my audio tracks. Like, that's, I don't know, to me, it's a waste of space. Four ways are here, and I'm going to try and get the audio on this for you. So let me put this off for a sec. So here's the turn signal. I'll be quiet so you can take a listen. So you hear it's a very distinct sound. Now I'm going to put the four ways on. And it's a different rhythm, which I think is really, really cool. Just something I noticed, I think, yesterday before I started shooting. Anyways, let's move on. Again, but this being the top trim inscription, you do get the crystal shifter. It's just gorgeous. And I know there's a couple of fingerprints, and I'm using my finger to wipe away the fingerprints, kind of counterintuitive, but like it's so cool. Such a classy move. This, I don't mind it, but it feels a little flimsy to me. Like, what happens if it breaks? I don't think it will, but like, I'd rather just a button to go down instead of a knob to twist. Here are your different drive modes. We'll get into more of that in the drive portion, but here's a quick look. Constant all-wheel drive, pure, hybrid, individual, and Polestar engineered for an extra bit of juice. Here are your cup holders. Close this nice and smoothly. Fun fact, I'm going to call it a perk. An iPhone 10 fits perfectly in here, does not move, or you can also put it in here and it also fits perfectly. A little bit of an irk here for me, not a lot of space in the center console. There's my wallet. Like, it's not deep at all. It's like one knuckle for mine. Like, that's, I don't know. That's it. And there's a little bit of storage here. I'm not really sure what you can put in there, but some beats none, I suppose, right? Last thing before we go, second last thing, there's that cool Bowers & Wilkins center speaker. It's such an amazingly clear audio system. Frameless mirror with the navigation and a nice panoramic sunroof to let all sorts of light in for yourself and your up to 4 passengers. On the road with the 2021 Volvo S90 Recharge. Total power output is 400 horsepower and 472 pound-feet of torque. And yes, that is a combination of the combustion engine as well as the battery. I'll do a split on the screen as to how much the combustion engine puts out versus how much the battery puts out. 34 kilometers of pure electric range is what Volvo Canada rates this as. Keep in mind that number will fluctuate depending on how you drive, who's in the vehicle, if you have your HVAC on full or on a lower setting. And yes, Volvo has put in an eco setting for their HVAC so that it uses less power to give you more battery power. To get your 34 kilometers of max range when you jump into the car, it takes 3 hours on a 240 volt outlet. As far as driving dynamics go themselves, There's a lot of power, and Volvo makes very, very smooth driving vehicles, and this is no exception to that. The power delivery is so linear, it's just a dream to drive. Cornering handling, because it's a sedan, it's lower to the ground, and I feel more engaged with the road. And that's why I like sedans more than I like the SUVs, CUVs, crossovers. Noise, vibration, harshness, it's a bit of an irk for me. Generally speaking, most of the other Volvos I've driven have been relatively quiet, but with this one, you stomp down really hard, you know, whether you're trying to get onto the highway or get out of a collision situation, and you hear that whine of the engine, and it's just a little more pronounced in the S90 than I recall it being in other vehicles. It wouldn't be a deal breaker at all because the Bowers & Wilkins booming audio system, which would completely drown that out. Easy to drive, easy to park, surprisingly easy to park. Yes, the 360 camera helps, but I say surprisingly easy to park because it is a full-size sedan. It's Volvo's flagship vehicle. It's their largest sedan in their lineup, but it doesn't feel like a full-size sedan. It feels more like an S60 for me. You just get that cavernous space for your rear passengers, almost like a limousine. You know, I would love to be driven around in this, at least for a few days a month. Really cool perk here is on the passenger side of the vehicle. In the rear seat, there is a little joystick, and that controls what happens with the front passenger seat. So if you wanted it to go and have the seat back move forward, you can do that. And if you wanted to have the seat itself go forward because you wanted a little more leg room, it can do that. And you're like, well, I don't need that much leg room, it's gonna come back. It's really cool. So basically it's moving the seat bottom forwards backwards, and it's moving the seat back forwards backwards. So pretty cool. And yeah, I would absolutely have somebody drive me around in this. Not quite like that because I'd have not a lot of space, but you get the point, right? As far as fuel consumption goes, we are rated at, in liters per 100 kilometers, 8.3 in the city, 7.5 on the highway, and a blended total of 7.9. Not too bad for a full-size sedan, and yes, the hybrid definitely does play a part in that. My numbers are, I believe last time I checked, which was about half an hour ago, 8.1. But it's been a lot of city driving for me. So I'm under the city limit, but I'm above the combined limit. I think I've done about 80% city driving, 20% highway driving. Safety, I'll put a little clip as to everything that's included. And again, this is the top trim inscription, so you pretty much get everything out of the box here, which is a smart move by Volvo. Now let's quickly change gears, pardon the pun, but not really, to Volvo's long-term strategy. Today is March 6th, and I believe on March 2nd, the press release came out from Volvo Global saying that by 2030, they want to have only electric vehicles on the fleet, or on their roster, on their lineup. They don't want to have any combustion vehicles. So if all goes to plan, there will never be a 2031 hybrid. Everything's going to be pure electric, kind of like they have with the XC40 Recharge right now, which is their full electric offering. I think it's a lofty goal. I think it's a good incentive. The obstacle here is going to be infrastructure. And I think that's why EVs and plug-in hybrids aren't as popular as I believe they should be. Back to driving dynamics for a quick moment. Because it is supercharged and turbocharged, you get the best of both worlds. So the supercharger takes care of a lot of the push on the lower end of the RPMs, and then the turbocharger takes care of the lift as you climb up. So there's no real weak area in your RPMs or your acceleration process. And you know, for me, I wouldn't be running and gunning it. For me, if I had a hybrid vehicle, I'd want to use as much electric power as possible. But it is always good to know that, again, if I'm getting on the highway, if I've got to if I have to make a quick decision to avoid a collision situation or a maneuver, it's reassuring to know I have a lot of power through the entire scope of the RPM gauge. The cabin feels very open, very airy, and in Volvo fashion, it is very minimalistic. There's not really a lot of complicated things happening here, not a lot of things to draw your attention away from driving. I will say my Irk is still with the tablet-style infotainment system. I just need a few more hard touch buttons, maybe at the very least the climate controls. I don't know, it's not bad or dangerous by any means. Volvo, or any manufacturer for that matter, wouldn't put out a dangerous vehicle, but I just find that tactile buttons are easier to memorize. Like, I know I can push here for direction of the air, and I can go over 2 buttons to the right to go up or down for hot or cold, or recirc the air, or maybe go down here for the rear defrost. Gonna wrap it up for the 2021 Volvo S90 Recharge. I like that they're actually making a conscious and very forward-thinking and aggressive effort to try and be fully electrified by 2030. As far as this specific vehicle goes, it still has the gorgeous and elegant looks that the S90 combustion engine vehicle has. They just put the battery pack in here. You get up to 34 kilometers of range, and that'll fluctuate, as I mentioned earlier. But it's a good move, and it's definitely the way of the future. Great interior, solid exterior, just elegant looking inside and out, very comfortable. And you know, I'd like to see more of them on the road, but I know Volvo is a very niche luxury automaker. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to tell somebody who you may think is interested in what I do. Be well, be healthy, be safe, and I will see you in the next video.